I just woke up at like 6:30 a.m. I'm a little, jet lagged from my flight back from Sweden, but I don't know. As you can see, I've been packing a lot in the past couple of days, and I wanted to take some time to just outline some of the things I learned this past year in New York. And now that I'm leaving, I had this like wave of sentimentality a while back where I was just kind of feeling the feels, and I wrote down some thoughts that I just kind of wanted to kind of address. The first thing that I kind of realized is that I want to prioritize my career before my art. And what I mean by that is that, I don't know, I just feel like I've been telling so many people that I am, an artistic person. I studied English in college. I always wanted to be a writer. I want to do music, all this stuff. But the more I seem to just exist, on my own outside of college, the more I seem to realize that everything I am saying is just not really true, because I think my actions speak louder than my words. And what my actions say is that all I want to do is just prioritize my career. The second thing I kind of realize is that there are always trade-offs in having friends. Just purely from a physical perspective, like, in order to do anything with your friends, you need to gain a significant amount of weight, because, especially in New York, like, all you do with your friends is just eat and drink, and all of those activities inevitably put on a lot of body weight. I don't really care about that personally, because I'm still young, I still exercise a lot, so none of my eating and drinking habits have impacted me too much in terms of my body. I have gained a couple of pounds since I've gotten to New York, but nothing to the point where I'm just like, shit, I really just need to stop. So that's good. I feel like there's such a direct trade-off between how happy I am at a given point and how much artistic output I create. My happiness is just so directly tied to how many friends I feel like I have at a given moment in time. Like right now in New York, I feel like I have a lot of friends, and when I move to SF, I don't think I'll have that many friends anymore. Well, I won't have any because I don't know anyone in SF. But in the past year I've been in New York, I feel like my artistic output has basically been close to zero, because it's just, when you're really happy all the time, there's no need to create. And because that's the case, it's really weird, because when I read the stuff I write now versus the stuff I wrote in college, I feel like my writing in college is just so much more true to myself and true to my artistic ideal than anything I do now. And I think that's just a little bit unfortunate. It's the product of the fact that I don't really have any inspiration right now, and I think precisely because I have a lot of friends right now, and I'm kind of excited for this next phase in my life where I don't have friends, because hopefully it would allow me to kind of return to my artistic roots almost. It would allow me to kind of find whatever drove me to write in the first place in college, and hopefully it would be more true to my artistic ideal than whatever I'm doing right now. It's more than just a time thing. It's not about the fact that I don't have time to write, because I really do. Like, what am I doing right now? Like, I'm packing. For sure, I can, like, there's always time to fit in writing, because writing doesn't take that long realistically, especially if you're just doing it on impulse. I think it's more just, it's hard to create art when I'm satisfied with my life. And all of my life I kind of just wanted more friends. In middle school, I wanted more friends. High school, I wanted more friends. College, I wanted more friends. And I don't think I've ever had a time in my life where I was really just satisfied with the quantity or quality of friends that I had. At least not until now. Like, I really feel satisfied with the number and quality of friends that I have right now. But now that I've achieved what I've wanted, you know, in a lot of my life, at least socially, it makes me realize that what I have right now is not all-encompassing, and it can't ever be all-encompassing. Like, what I really want is the ability to create art while having friends, but the more I kind of live, the more I kind of realize that those two are at odds with each other. I really just can't have both. And I think that brings me a lot of peace in the future. Because I've experienced what it feels like to have friends, I understand that the lack of inspiration I have to create art at the moment. You know, whenever in the future, I can just reflect on this experience and kind of be at peace with the idea that I can only have one of them. Like, I can either create art or I can have friends, but not both at the same time. And the last thing I kind of realized is, this is more closer to when I graduated college than it was right now, but I don't want to do activities that willingly distances myself from other people. Like, in college, I was really into, you know, a lot of just meta ethics, philosophy of love kind of stuff, just really trying to understand, like, why we love, how the society we live in affects the way we love, how love progressed over time, stuff like that. And I realized, like, all of this research, I kind of did it because I, like, had to do it, in the sense that I didn't know what else to do with my life other than to do this research. I realized in retrospect that I really just distanced myself from other people. Like, if you look at all these, like, famous philosophers, like, all of them lived, like, pretty sad lives, in the sense that most of them are kind of just, like, low-key incels, you know? Like, if you take, like, Kafka and, like, Nietzsche, they all died pretty alone, really sad. And I don't think that their contributions in philosophy and literature are very at odds with their personality. I think it's almost as if precisely their very nuanced understanding of the world distanced themselves from other people and made them extremely unrelatable to others. I had this realization a while back that if I continued down this, you know, path of, like, literature and philosophy, the more intricate and nuanced my work becomes, that I would just be kind of, like, distancing myself from other people. Like, I remember at the end, yeah, just, like, parties, all I wanted to talk about was just whatever research I was working on at the moment, about, like, love, about ethics. So it was just, like, it was, in retrospect, really cringy. And at the time, I think I got I could read body cues, in the sense that I got the impression that what I was talking about wasn't exactly the most great party subject, but I didn't really understand, like, it was because of that, and not just because, I think I thought it was because just I was, like, ugly or something, but I don't think that anymore. And so, yeah, when I got to New York, I think over COVID, I kind of just stopped talking about, I stopped doing research on all these subjects I really cared about in college, and I think that has done wonders for my social life. Like, sure, my conversations aren't, you know, deep philosophical conversations anymore like they were all the time in college, but I think I like it this way. It brings me a lot more happiness, it makes me more relatable to others, and knowing that the difference between me having friends and not having friends is just a reprioritization in where I put my mental headspace. It really just did, like, change my life, and I realized from now on I don't really want to do things that distances me from other people. Like, the reason I don't study philosophy anymore, the reason I don't really read that much literature anymore, is because I don't want to do things that makes me more unrelatable to other people, that I don't want to put energy in things that shapes my mind in a way that makes me hard to relate to. And I think all of these things I did in college kind of did that, but now I don't really read that much anymore, I don't really write that much anymore, but it's made me like so much more relatable to other people. Like, I feel I can relate to people so much easier now than I did before, and I think it mostly just came from this shift in mentality about where I put my energy. And so part of me is kind of mournful about this like personality that I low-key kind of just did sacrifice in order to be for friends, basically. I don't think I would ever go back. It's just life with friends is just so much different than life without. It's hard to kind of understand why I did all that research I did in college at this point in my life anymore. And so in summary, I think my time in New York has been like actually like really transformative, but not because like of the city or anything. I don't really like care about, you know, all these attractions and all the things to do. Like, sure, it has like a higher concentration of like good restaurants and good nightclubs and, you know, tourist destinations like the High Line or the Flatiron Building literally every block, but to me that's not really important. It's more about what this place represents to me, where I stand relative to other people, how the people I've met here have shaped me over the past year, and they have. Like, everything about the city has shaped me tremendously, and I'm pretty grateful. I feel like I've become a genuinely happy person in the past year I've been here, in a way that's just like out of the question for me in college. I think the realizations I've made here have really given me a source of durability and strength in a way that's kind of independent from external variables such as how many friends I have at a given moment in time, or you know that like Camus quote, like, in the depths of winter I found within myself an invincible summer. Like, I used to like just really like not understand that quote, and I thought I got it for a little bit my senior year of college, but then I realized like that's all wrong. Like, I didn't get it at all. But like, I genuinely feel in the past year I've been here, I'm just like slightly closer to like understanding that quote. Like, I really feel I have a sense of like internal durability that is independent from what life throws at me, because I understand that everything I do in my life has trade-offs, and there's no point in kind of fretting over all of these possibilities. It's just like the choice you have in your life at a specific moment in time right now, that's all that matters.